Sadly, I did.
An emotional apology tonight from a Seattle police officer caught on camera roughing up a man during a robbery investigation and yelling racial slurs at him. It's good to have you with us tonight. I'm Bill Wixie. Seattle police have taken that officer off the street while they investigate what happened. The internal probe started after Q13 Fox News alerted the department to a videotape we had of the incident. The tape was shot 3 weeks ago by a photographer working for us at the time. It appears to show the officers stomping on a man before ultimately letting him go. Less than an hour ago, that officer, a 15-year veteran detective working with the gang unit, broke down in front of reporters.
It was during this contact that I chose words as part of my conversations with that young man that were offensive and unprofessional. The day is not past in which I wish I could rewind the events of that night and take back those hateful words expressed. As a result of my comments, I have not only embarrassed myself, but I have truly let down my colleagues. Colleagues who, without thinking twice, would lay their lives down for me. To Chief Diaz and the men and women of the Seattle Police Department, I can only offer you my most heartfelt apology and to promise you that I will strive to be better and that I will represent this department in the most professional manner. To the Seattle community, in particular, to members of the Latino community, I know that my words cut deep and were very hurtful.
Now, what the videotape of the incident does not show is the criminal activity cops were investigating that night that led up to the incident. And Amy Allen is here with that. Amy?
Well, police were responding to a 911 call just after 1 in the morning on Saturday, April 17th. A man said 4 Hispanic men approached him with a machete outside a restaurant in South Lake Union and robbed him. As Cobain and a couple of other officers arrived in the area, it appears they stopped the wrong guy. The video shows what happened next. It's hard for some people to watch.
I was horrified. Just horrified. It's a very emotional issue right now.
A young man face down on the ground, a police officer screaming at him.
What the video shows is really pretty appalling. You have somebody who doesn't seem to be resisting or presenting any threat to officer or public safety being kicked and stomped on.
Local civil rights groups believe this type of thing happens more often than people realize.
It's not that it's surprising necessarily, it's that it's always surprising because to see that kind of racist language as well as the brutality.
Interim Seattle Police Chief John Diaz is waiting to watch the video until the investigation is complete.
If what I understand is on the video and what I heard is on that video, that's very disturbing to me.
Ultimately, he'll decide what, if anything, happens to the officers. He says he doesn't take this sort of thing lightly. Was this a situation where the officer was trying to get the person under control, or did he just use a slur just because? These are the things that we're going to find out. Am I offended by people using any kind of slur? Absolutely. The video also shows that after the confrontation, the man told our photographer he didn't know why police came after him.
I don't know. They just kicked me in the head. They knocked me down and they kicked me on the head.
You had nothing to do with what was going on?
Nothing to do.
Retired Officer Frank Campson works with the Behind the Badge Foundation. He's not making any excuses for what happened, but says the department needs time to sort this out.
Did these officers mishandle something? We'll find out in the investigation. But until then, all I ask for everybody to do is reserve judgment.
Still, civil rights advocates say the video seems clear to them, and they'll have a hard time supporting the idea of putting these cops back on the streets.
I'm hoping that the police accountability process as it goes through comes up with very clear discipline for the officers, including, not having them be police officers.
And police say the man in the video has not filed a complaint against Seattle police, but civil rights advocates speculate he may be too scared to do that, or he may not know his rights. Bill?
Amy, thanks.